This building was originally constructed as the provincial house, the central house for the Grey Nuns in the United States, and it was completed in 1956. It housed our retired sisters. We had an infirmary for our sick sisters and the novitiate for our new sisters in order that they receive education on how to become a Grey Nun. I was the first postulant to enter in this building. A postulant is a person who comes for 6 months just to find out, do I really belong here? And to learn the basics of religious life. And so I came here in February of 1957. By 1993, however, vocations became less and less. We had much unused space in this house. Sister Dorothy Cooper was our provincial superior at that time, and she set up a committee to study options for use of this property. It went from, do we sell the property, to doing nothing, just maintaining it the way it is. The decision was made that there was a great need to care for the elderly, and so it was decided that we would change this house into assisted living for the elderly. Sister Dorothy and her council developed plans for the conversion. In 1994, I and my council were elected and expanded the house to serve others. We completed the plans and got approval from the town. I remember the town meeting. I was shaking a little bit because I'd never gone to a town meeting, and we had to present our plans and answer questions, but I brought a group of sisters with me, and they sat up in the balcony, and their job was to pray for us so that we would be able to answer the questions given to us from the town meeting members and be able to receive an okay. Anyway, we got permission to change our provincial house into assisted living for the elderly. Before we started construction, I asked the sisters to go around, because there was a lot of letting go involved. Go around and write on the walls. Write anything you want. And I walked around at night and read everything that they wrote. They wrote wonderful memories about the sisters who lived here before them, and the rooms that they slept in, what we did in all of these areas of the provincial house. It enriched my heart to see how many nice things our sisters wrote about this building, and the memories that they shared was very touching. And then we had a celebration for beginning to change the house from the provincial house to assisted living. And we planted a tree to celebrate. A tree, for us, represents new life, new beginning. The roots are deep in the ground and an enduring symbol of life and hope. The name Youville was chosen because of our foundress, St. Marguerite Youville. She was a woman who encouraged us to always know what the needs were, and if we could, to reach out and to meet the needs of a community. And so we named this house Youville Place. In May of 1997, Youville Place opens its doors, marked a new era for the Grey Nuns, marked a lot of letting go, and at the same time, a welcoming. It was time then to hire an executive director, and Joanne Sienna was hired to take that responsibility.
Youville achieved full occupancy very quickly, which confirmed the Grey Nuns' vision to respond to the needs in the community and now bring the mission to Youville Place. With the mission coming to Youville, we were able to serve residents from all of the surrounding communities, as well as at-risk and vulnerable populations. In 1998, the Grey Nuns received the Outstanding Volunteer Services Award from the Massachusetts Assisted Living Federation, in recognition of how helpful the Grey Nuns were in transitioning new residents and their families to Youville Place. It was the Grey Nuns who taught us how to serve and how to incorporate our mission and values into our daily work. We often hear from visitors that from the minute you walk into Youville Place, it just feels different. It feels welcoming, and it feels like a place you would want to call home. On February 8, 2008, the Grey Nuns transferred ownership of Youville Place to Covenant Health. In doing so, the Grey Nuns were planning for their future and recognized the need for lay leadership to take over the day-to-day operations of Youville Place. This was a meaningful moment as Youville Place went from being managed by Covenant Health to being owned by Covenant Health. With this, we transitioned from a board previously comprised of Grey Nuns to a board comprised of lay leaders and a representative of the Grey Nuns. In 2009, Youville House and Youville Place merged together upon the sale of Youville Hospital. When the hospital was sold, it really made a lot of sense that the Youville should merge since they were only 8 miles apart and both were owned by Covenant Health. The merger created opportunities for the Youvilles to integrate operations, brand, and share the same board. At this time, I became the COO for Youville, and Joanne Parsons was the CEO and president. In 2012, Covenant authorized Youville Place to proceed with its plans to develop a memory support community through fundraising efforts. A capital campaign was initiated, and through the efforts of the board, the CEO, and myself, fundraising strategies were developed and successfully implemented. We owe a great deal of gratitude to the Grey Nuns who kicked off the campaign with a $1 million donation. On April 1st, 2014, the Courtyard, a memory support unit opened. Youville opened the memory support community to fulfill a tremendous need at Youville Place, Youville House, and in the greater community to serve residents with dementia. Up until this time, residents with dementia or Alzheimer's had to leave their home at Youville. It was a heart-wrenching experience to have our residents leave our community at such a time when they were vulnerable. Today, the Courtyard has changed that and allowed us to offer another level of care to keep residents in their home. Since its inception, the Courtyard has achieved full census and has advocated for many residents affected by Alzheimer's disease, as well as advocating for their families. In 2015, Youville Place signed a management agreement with the Grey Nuns. As the number of Grey Nuns declined in the St. Joseph province, the Grey Nuns once again looked for lay leadership to manage the day-to-day services of the sisters and to oversee its chapel. From its earliest beginnings, Youville Place was owned by the Grey Nuns, and now there has been a complete circle of change where Youville Place takes care of them and their business operations.
In 2001, I was hired by Covenant Health, and I was immediately drawn to the Grey Nuns and their mission. I can remember touring various Covenant communities and finding myself so impressed with both Youville Place and Youville House. They were special. The mission seemed to be so alive inside. I also remember thinking that I would love to work at Youville someday. So, in 2015, when the position of President and CEO was open, I knew it was a calling for me. I feel so honored to be the President and CEO of Youville, and it is with great privilege to carry on the mission of the Grey Nuns and Marguerite de Youville. As a continued step in our integration process, in 2016, Covenant and all of its members developed a shared mission statement, which resulted in Youville House and Youville Place now having the same mission and heritage statement. Our unique heritage statement will unite us to carry on the mission of the Grey Nuns into the future.
And now I look back and I realize that we've come full circle in this house. It was originally built to educate our sisters and take care of our elderly sisters. And I came here to be the first sister to enter the congregation in this building. And now I'm here as a resident. The spirit of St. Margaret Youville is to build on the past, to live in the present, and to trust the future to God. Youville will continue to evolve and meet the needs as they arise in the future.